everybody, and welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas. Thank you so much for joining us today. We've got an epic show ahead, but just remember, if any of you have experiences you'd like to share, I'd love to hear from you. You can either email me at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com or head over to paranormalportal.net and scroll down and find the button that says Interview Me, and that'll allow you to look at a calendar of possible times and dates and find a date that works for you. Love to hear your stories, so definitely get in touch with me. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Paranormal Portal podcast. I'm your host, Brent Thomas. Hope y'all are doing wonderful out there, and thank you so much for your love and support as you continue to show up for these episodes, which really means the world to me. And thank you to those of you who keep recommending the show to new listeners. I get emails all the time of people that are finding the shows, and it's just been wonderful. So thank you for all of that, ladies and gentlemen. Today we got a phenomenal show lined up. I am welcoming Keishon from Georgia, who's here to talk about a whole host of paranormal experiences, experiences with extraterrestrials, as well as 3 near-death experiences. So this is going to get deep, folks. I hope you're ready, because we're going in. Hey, Keishon, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. I'm really thrilled to get the chance to talk to you, and I'm glad we were able to get this lined up and scheduled. That's a whole host of things you've seen and experienced, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I can definitely be a movie for sure.
You can be a movie. Yeah. I guess we'll start with my candid question, and that is, I always wonder, how did the journey start for everybody that I witness or that I interview? And I got to ask you, how did all this begin for you? Was this just the experiences of your life from a very early age, or was there a moment where this suddenly kicked in and became part of your world? How did it happen?
It seemed like I was kind of born into it. It's been my entire life, and I've been experiencing things since I was out the womb, apparently.
Oh.
I think we got our experiences, or my grandmother was born with a veil over her face.
Oh, sure. I've heard of that. Very mystical.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think that because of that, it kind of passed on to all of us.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like me and my aunt and some of my uncles, we seem to have the most experiences. I don't know if there's like a pattern or if there's a reason for that. I'm not sure.
Right.
But I remember since I was a kid, she lived in this haunted house, because we're from Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Kentucky's a very haunted place.
Sure, yeah.
And the house she lived in at the time, I remember I was probably like 2 or 3. And whenever we go to her house, I'll be afraid to look at the roof.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I always point at the roof. I'll say, bad, bad, bad. And I would be terrified he would walk past the front door.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And come to find out, well, in that same house as well, there's a side door. And I will always be terrified to look out that window as well. We found out eventually that at that same house, a man was murdered at the side of that house.
Oh, no. Okay.
So, and also as a kid, I don't remember exactly what I saw, but whatever it was, it terrified me, and it was evil. And, yeah, in that same house, my aunt also had experience where she seen an angel.
Okay.
And, it scared her, or she described it as an angel. And she said she woke up in the middle of the night one day, looked in the mirror, and she seen this lady dressed in all white behind her. And she said she was very beautiful, and she kind of like sparkled.
Oh,
and
wow.
She didn't feel anything malatant. She said it had very beautiful and peaceful. It was a loving energy coming from the person.
Okay.
But, she was still terrified. She's like, who's this random lady in my room?
Yeah, when did the sparkly people get here? Yeah.
She just darted out.
Wow.
But, yeah, and also in that same house, this house particularly is where a lot of this stuff started.
Okay.
I had my first near-death experience, and I had a seizure. I think it was because I was overheated. I had like this Elmo onesie on, and I think it caused me to overheat. I'm guessing, and I had to go
Okay.
to the hospital. But they said I lost consciousness on the way there, and when I woke up, I'll call her May. I don't like to refer to her as my mother, really, but I'll just call her May.
Hmm.
May told me that when I woke up, that I was walking down this hallway, and when I was unconscious, I walked down this hallway of the hospital, and I looked up at the ceiling, and all I see were clouds. And the person, I was holding this person's hand, and I couldn't see their face. They were just too tall for me to see.
Okay.
And I asked this person, I was like, "Can I stay with you?" And they said, "No, this is not your time." And that's what I told her. And I woke up, and she was just like, what he looked like, this, that, and the other. She said I told her he had white skin.
Hmm.
And yeah, that was the first near-death experience I've had.
Wow. So now, when you said he was too tall to see, but did you you had a sense that it was a male, definitely, right? Do you have looking back on this, and I guess I'm asking you to speculate. Do you think like it was a religious figure like Jesus, or do you think it was an angel? Do you have any opinion?
I'm actually, I feel like it's probably a guardian angel.
Okay.
Because when I come to my paranormal experiences, I do know they are around and they've been watching me. And actually, this kind of ties into my extraterrestrial experiences down the line. It'll start to connect and make more sense to me as I've got there. But I do think it was like probably like a guardian angel that's watching over me.
Okay. Okay. So how old were you when this happened?
I think I was like 2 or 3.
2 or
Around
3.
it.
So that's very young, and yet you still retain that memory pretty clearly.
I don't.
Okay.
But my mother, yeah, she told me, and my grandmother as well. They told me, yeah.
Wow. So were you actually pronounced dead at one point, or was it that you know of, or do you not know?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I was unconscious for a while.
Sure. Okay. And you certainly could have been. I mean, I don't mean to imply anything there. It's just, it's very curious. Certainly many people have had what they consider NDEs without actually being clinically dead, but their consciousness definitely went somewhere. They could see things going on around them. And it's just, it has all of the hallmarks of being clinically dead, but yet revived.
Right. Yep. Yep. Yep,
Okay.
I definitely. Yep.
Wow.
And then like I guess you said I had more like 2 near death. Yeah, that makes sense. Now you put it that way, yeah. Because the second death experience, I was also unconscious.
Okay.
And then I guess the third one I would say is more so like I could have died, but nothing happened. And that was that was more of a spiritual experience more than anything.
Okay.
That's actually the next one that happened. My mother was going to go grocery shopping, and she was going to leave me in my crib. But something kept telling her to take me. And she said she's had this very weird urge to just be like, take your child with you.
Right.
And when we came back, our house was set on fire.
Oh, wow.
And I guess that was my guardian angel again, watching over me, making sure that I was okay. And it was a person who was stalking her that set her house on fire.
Oh, my God. Wow.
And yeah, and sorry too, I'm doing emotional with some of these stories as well.
Sure.
My third experience I've had, I was a little bit older, probably about 10, still in Kentucky. And that night before it happened, I woke up and there were these angels around my bed.
Oh.
There were like different colors. And they told me that something bad was about to happen, that they would be there to protect me. And that following day, I fell out of a 3-story window.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Yeah, and thankfully I walked away with just a broken arm. But thank God. But I do feel like that them warning me of that was them protecting me. And yeah, on the way to the hospital, I was also unconscious again. As we all remember from that part.
Yeah.
But I have heard too that a lot of times people having near death experiences will trigger paranormal experiences as well. I've heard.
Yes, I was going to get to that next, because you're right. A lot of people that have reported having near death experiences come back with a very heightened sensitivity. Might be psychic awareness, might be premonition, any number of different faculties that might have been more I don't know, unawakened in them prior, but then they come back and these things are like switched on, or at least ramped up from what they were before. Did you have that experience as well?
Oh yes.
I suppose it's hard to know from the 2 to 3 year old one, but the others. Oh, okay.
I guess it makes sense because like after that, it's followed me my entire life. I had those experiences at such a young age. So I was like, yeah, I think they definitely had a huge part to do with deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, because around 2016, 2017, this is where the extraterrestrial stuff starts coming in. I sorry, this is like I get emotional. I'm here talking about this too.
Okay.
I was going through what some would say a spiritual awakening. I wanted to dive deeper into the meaning of life and why I was here because I've always been this abnormal person. Like, even when I was a kid, I wasn't really a typical kid.
Sure.
Like, everyone watching cartoons, playing outside. I was watching History Channel. Like, I was very fascinated by like Armageddon and like ancient aliens. Those stuff I was watching as a child.
Okay.
You know, which is, but around this era of my life, in 2016, I dived deeply into spirituality.
Okay.
And I came across this page on on a website, and there's this lady named Cynthia Crawford, and she made these statues of these extraterrestrial beings, and she would channel their spirit into these statues.
Oh, okay.
The one that I gravitated towards the most was this blue one, and they were called Arcturians.
Arcturians. Okay.
And they're like these 7 foot tall blue skinned beings, and they are supposed to be the most technologically advanced race in the galaxy, or you know, in our system.
Okay.
So I emailed her and I told her I was interested in buying one of her statues, and she had this reaction towards me. She's like, "Whoa!" She's like, I had to send her a picture of who because we each have, we're all infinite beings, and we all have like guardian angels signed to us, so we all have like star family, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
And I sent her the picture of what I looked like so she could channel, I guess, my lineage. And she told me, she was very shocked, that she told me that I was a reincarnated descendant master.
Oh,
And
nice.
today I still don't really have, I still have a hard time come to terms with that. I feel like it's a huge weight to put on someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I do know for sure that she was in contact with something, because my life changed after I contacted her.
Oh, good. In a good way or not?
A good way. Or I'll say
Okay.
it's a good way. Yeah.
Well, I mean, sometimes, in spiritual awakenings, sometimes it's like the whole ignorance is bliss. But then you become aware of this through some kind of awakening, and suddenly the world gets heavier and it gets harder because the increased sensitivities and things like that can be a lot to bear. And so that's why I was curious. And I didn't mean to imply that she isn't a wonderful soul in helping people, but it's just been my experience that people that come to these awakenings sometimes come into a whole different life with a lot of different challenges than they've ever faced before.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of alienating, because for the longest I always felt like that I was targeted, or I grew up not having a lot of friends or having a lot of supportive people around me. And it could be very isolating. And it's kind of why I was like, okay, well, I kind of understand what she was saying about me being a descendant master person, because I know people who are very spiritual tend to be very isolated. You tend to, not to get too deep into the spirituality part of it, but,
Sure.
isolation requires you to be closer to God, or
Yeah.
whoever we call it. Yeah, but yeah, shortly after I emailed her, the moment she started working on it, Brent, things just went crazy. Like there was Portuguese activity over the house. Um, I remember the moment I came home from school one day, and this is when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
The day after I spoke to her, I came home and I was coming out the bathroom, and I felt something tap my shoulder, and it was a very firm tap, like, and I could tell that was from something tall. I was like, and I wasn't terrified because at this point I'm so used to seeing the paranormal. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, hello, how are you? Then get a response back. And then one day I came to the bathroom. I see my makeup bag floating in the air, and
Oh,
like dropped it. I have crystals in my room. My crystals be floating in the air, or they'll go missing and reappear later on. Like it was this very weird stuff like that. All when she started making the statue for me. The day it came in the mail, she told me how to connect with the statue and how to bond with it. And we had to do a meditation, and you would have to connect to your heart chakra, some type of heart chakra practice you would do.
mm-hmm.
And the first meditation, Brent, I woke up, I ended my meditation, and there was this gold orb in my room. And my body was really hot and vibrating, and this gold orb was bouncing all over the room, like with this very fast. And after that meditation, typical stuff started happening. But I feel like that statue was basically a portal to the other side because there are other things coming into the home as well. One day, I remember I woke up at 3 a.m., which was a common theme around that time. For some reason, I was always waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning on the dot, every single night. But this one night, particularly, there was a very dark presence in my room, and I'm very sensitive, like energetically, so I knew exactly where it was, and though I couldn't see it.
Right.
And I told her I could tell that it was an evil spirit. I said, "You're not welcome here." I said, "You need to leave," because sometimes people forget that even negative entities, they have rules they have to abide by.
Yes.
And if they're not welcome, they have to leave. But of course, some of them will probably try to fight you,
Yeah.
But it left immediately because they can't handle the frequency of love. I was also threatened that, I'll bring you to the light and I will send you love if you do not leave. And they couldn't handle that frequency.
Right. Okay.
One night as well, I think my body was floating in the air.
Oh, like you were actually levitating?
Yeah.
Okay.
And for a second, I did think that I probably had an out-of-body experience. But what made me knew it wasn't an out-of-body experience was because the bed frame I was on at the time, there were rails.
Okay.
And I heard the rails like shake when my body slammed in the bed. Yeah, I was floating and it's like boof. Like my body just fell and the rails were really loud and it scared the crap out of me. And I looked at the clock and it's 3 o'clock in the morning again.
Sure.
All these things happen at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, I forgot to mention the statue, this being that she channeled to me. I named it Gabriel. That
Okay.
was my star family. So I gave the name. I've only seen Gabriel one time in person.
Oh, nice. Okay. What happened there?
Yeah. One day everybody was gone. I was home alone. I was eating breakfast. And I was in my room eating. I had my door open. And she or he, I wasn't sure if it was male or female. But they just walked into my room. And they weren't completely physical. It was like, you knew they were there, but it wasn't completely physical. Apparently
Sure.
these beings are, they can travel through dimensions.
Oh, okay.
I think they was at the dimension where I could see them.
Right.
But they just walked into my room. She was very tall and beautiful. Just had this, just like the statue. They wore an all white gown, blue skin, and had just like this crown thing around their head. Gorgeous. I didn't feel fear. I felt nothing but peace and love from this being. And I walked into my room and said, "Oh, hi, Gabriel. Nice to finally meet you." So unfazed by it. People think I'm crazy. I'm like, it just never scared me.
Nice.
You know?
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would never want to see like a Bigfoot or like a dog man. I think I'm good on that, but
Sure. Yeah. And generally, they don't look very happy to see us either, in the
oh yeah,
Bigfoot dog man. They're like, you. Whereas
yeah,
this seems like it was more welcoming and loving presence.
yeah, yeah. I can handle the spirits any day, but not a dog man. I'm good on that.
That's really cool. Do you, I'm sorry to kind of hopscotch around, but as these questions come to me, I got to ask them. But do you find that you are able to generally see spirits, or was this just kind of specific to this instance and you don't normally see them?
Yeah, I see them normally. It's
Oh,
kind of
you
like an
do?
everyday experience. It's not everyday experience. I would say right now it's kind of been a while since I've seen anything.
Okay.
And I guess because I've been so focused on like the earthly plane and like there's so much going on in life right now.
Yeah,
Like,
it sure is.
yeah,
I think for all of us, I think that we're all in this weird biorhythm right now that's really pulling people away from the spiritual and making us focus on this physical. And it's just been crazy. But yeah, that's amazing. Okay.
and I think like probably 2 weeks ago, there's like a presence in my room. Because usually when a spirit is around me, I get like this loud ringing in my ear,
Okay.
or I get like fluttering. When I hear the fluttering, it's like I know that's probably like an angel nearby. Like it'll literally like wings, or
Sure.
in
Yeah.
your head. And that's when I had that experience. It was about 2 weeks ago. I was just in my room cleaning up, and something was by my door. So I'm super hypersensitive to energy. I can go to a place, a location, know if I shouldn't be in that location, or if there's spirit activity. It's odd to explain. But
Yeah, I'm with you though. Okay. I think most of us have probably been in a situation where you go somewhere and for no rhyme or reason, you just feel like, oh, this doesn't feel right. I mean, it starts with a feeling, and that can even be the woods. Like, everybody's having a happy day until suddenly, boom, it's like something was lowered over the whole forest, and it's like, oh, I don't feel good. We should get out of here, and whatever's causing it, I can't pretend to know. I've got ideas, but yeah, I totally can resonate with that.
yeah, and I think it's probably why it's so easy for me to tell which is negative and positive. And I think that's kind of comes with my spiritual discernment, something that you really need, because it trickles down even to reading people. I can know everything about somebody just by looking at them, and it's bizarre. Like, I have friends come to me like, "Oh, can you tell me about this person or that person?" Like, usually something they're taking interest in romantically, and they would not believe me. And right down the line, they're like, "Oh, wow, I should listen to you. You should. Like, how do you know about this person?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's just something I always, And I think this comes from even the paranormal. I'm just very energetically sensitive,
Yeah,
and it's kind of why I think probably why I isolate so much, because I take on everybody's energy, and that can be very draining.
very
You know?
empathic. Then, would you say?
Yeah, empathic. Yeah, perfect word.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you're right. As far as I mean, even in the ancient writings of different spiritualities, generally the hermits types were always the masters. They were out on their own, and I imagine it's probably for a very similar reason. They're just, if they're in a town or a city or whatever, they're being inundated by these energies. So, of course, you go out to where it's peaceful.
Right.
Yeah.
I always found more comfort in nature and in animals,
Yeah.
or teddy bears. I got a lot of teddy bears too. Yeah, I'll isolate in those ways for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's marvelous, actually. I think it's a great method to protect yourself because, if you were, let's say you could hear everything, every thought that everyone had around you, you're going to go someplace where there's nobody thinking stuff, because that's going to get annoying and loud and noisy. So it's just an example, but it's the same kind of thing for empaths, like true empaths that are picking up on people's energy. And they unfortunately, with empathy, it's almost like a curse because not only do you have an awareness of what's going on around you, but you get to feel it too, and that includes everybody's bad day or not feeling well, their sorrow, their sadness. It's all just like washing over you constantly. So yeah, you go to where it's quiet.
Yeah, I burned through so much sage and Palo Santo plants.
I'll bet. Yeah. Wow. But you got to protect yourself. That's the biggest thing, I think, for anybody that deals with sensitivity and some form of, and I don't like this term, but gifts, is you have to learn how to mitigate it. Otherwise, it's going to steamroll you.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that too. Because I think a lot of times people, when they hear psychic or gifts, they think, oh, it's something that's unique to that one person. Like, no, we all have these gifts.
Yes.
Some of us choose to develop it, some of us choose not to, or some of us are more sensitive, and some of us not sensitive. But we all have these gifts.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm actually glad you said that. So
Yeah. Well, I think we are, like you said, we all have the gifts, but it's like everybody has their own volume knob. And some people's cranked all the way to the maximum, and some are somewhere in between that and nothing. And there's something there for all of us, but you're right. Some people are just so much more tuned into it, whether, just by the roll of a dice or some event, or they've worked at it, like meditating and stuff to crank up that seventh sensitivity. But yeah, for sure.
and what's so crazy too is actually when I got this statue, my psychic abilities went haywire too, and I discovered that I could tap into minds. And I've only did 2 times. It's not something I can control.
Sure.
But the 2 times it happened, it was just very random. Like the first time I was at school and heard this lady talk about a guy in the hallway, and she was like, "Oh, he's very attractive," and I knew exactly who it was coming from. And that's it. Kind of made me real. Okay, I don't want to get sidetracked. But the second, I do have something to say about that though. But the second time I've had that experience, we was in downtown Atlanta, and I remember I was going to sign up for this TV show or whatever. I was doing like extra work at the time, and I was walking past this group of guys, and I heard someone say, "Hey." They didn't say it physically with their mouth. It was like through thought, and the thoughts come from inside my head.
Oh.
And it's like they knew I could hear them.
Oh.
See, brings it to, because I was watching this, reading a story one time about vampires, I think, and how they communicate. It's making me realize too, there's like a whole underground tunnel network of like communication that we probably don't know about.
Right.
Because how did this person know? Like he really looked right at me and said, "Hey," but it was telepathically. Like they knew I could hear them.
Sure. Wow.
And yeah, so, this statue, I still have the statue to this day too. I still meditate with it, but I don't really feel much energy from it. And it's probably because of my fault, because I've been slacking on my meditations lately. Like the last time I had this experience is like 2018.
Oh, okay.
With Gabriel. But yeah, my abilities went crazy. And it also brought some bad things too, because I remember, because I was experiencing extraterrestrials, and I went to Sydney about this. I was being followed by this black van. It was an unmarked black van. And I later came to know those called the Men in Black, or I guess it's the Men in Black.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm familiar with that. Sure.
Yeah. It was very, and it didn't freak me out, but I mean, I was just like, okay, that's a little weird. But I think at this time I was vibrating at such a high frequency. Fear wasn't really a thing.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it may have probably been stupid. Maybe I should have been more cautious, but I just didn't care.
Right.
I was just focused on love and experiencing the other side. It grounded me. But the second time I seen them, was when I moved out, and my boyfriend at the time, we was moving our stuff into the apartment, and he's like, "Hey, babe, there was this weird black van that was following me the entire time we was coming up here." Ooh. And I've never noticed it. I'm in my own little world, because by this time I've seen Gabriel for a minute.
Yeah.
It died down. So I was like, okay, well, why are they still following me and harassing me? Then if I haven't seen this in so long, maybe it's because I was getting my own place, and maybe me having my own place would mean I'll be able to focus more on tapping into the other side. Right. I'm not sure. But when he came and got me out of the apartment to show me what he was talking about, because it was in our parking lot when he came and got me, The moment I came outside and I looked at them, they sped away. They got in the car and they sped away.
Really? So you saw them?
Yeah, and that's the first time I actually seen them outside the car. I've never seen them before. First, I just seen the black van.
Right. What did they look like? I'm just curious. The physical description of what you observed.
They had no hair. They was like completely bald.
Okay.
Very pale, and they had like black T-shirts on.
Oh.
They didn't look human to me either. They did look a little weird. I was like, okay, because like the skin on the head was like, how do you describe it? I can't even describe it. Just like it was like, I don't know how to even describe it, Brent. It's so weird.
Okay.
But like, it was very pale, and the skin was just very tight around the head. Like it was like something you just peel off.
Oh, okay. The reason I ask is because the Men in Black was a phenomenon that seemed to be pretty prevalent in the 50s, 60s, 70s, but then kind of seemed to drop off, and we really didn't get the number of reports anymore. But it's interesting. That's why I wanted to describe them, because of course traditionally they'd be the black fedora, the shades, the black suit, very nondescript, just kind of looking like what the traditional G-man or FBI guy looked like. But then they kind of just fell off the map. But it's interesting to hear that you experienced that again, and it sounds like they've updated their wardrobe a little bit, and they're going more casual, which is probably smart on their parts, because you just don't see people running around with shades and fedoras and suits anymore. Not as much anyway. So
I guess they got with the times.
I guess so. They started cracking open some GQs and figured it out, I guess.
Yeah, they had really weird noses too. Their noses like really small.
Oh.
They just look very odd.
Okay.
If that's their way of blending into humanity, they did a horrible job. Like I'll be like, okay, you're not human.
They're not good at it, but they're trying. Yeah.
And then how freaked out he was, because he's just like, they've been following me all day. And I kind of felt bad, because I felt like it was kind of my fault that he was having these experiences,
Yeah.
And
I don't know how. I assume that Men in Black are. Some people have speculated that they're some branch of the government. I really don't think so. I think whatever they are, they seem to be from somewhere else, and I don't know if that's a dimensional thing or if that's an extraterrestrial thing. I don't know if it's like Will Smith in the movie. I don't, it's anybody's guess, but they definitely seem, by all accounts, like they don't fit, and allegedly seem to demonstrate very, very supernatural or advanced abilities of their own.
Yeah. And I heard sometimes people would be afraid of them, but it seemed they were afraid of me, because the moment I came out, they got in the car and sped off. And I think I did tell Sydney about this, and she did warn me that when it comes to people having these extraterrestrial experiences, I get a lot more into her. She told me that we would be targeted, because when we visit the ships, they intentionally wipe our minds out, because they don't want the government to get a hold of the information that we learned on the ships. That's what she told me. And that day I told you I woke up and my body slammed onto the bed, I think there's probably a day where I was probably abducted. And I don't have memories of it, but I have these weird instances,
Yeah.
And around that time as well, I'll always wake up and feel like something was working on my head, on my brain.
Okay. Have you thought of like regression hypnosis? Is that something that? Oh, okay. So you really have. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely want to do it for sure, to get back my memories for sure about it. Yeah, because just that waking up that day, my bed slammed with, okay, I had to be abducted that day, or something was weird. Maybe I don't know. And then working on my head, it was bizarre.
Right.
And Sydney, she's a very fascinating person as well. Her background, her father was in the army.
Okay.
And she said she was a hybrid between Anunnaki, Zeta.
Anunnaki? Yeah.
Yeah. And she said that he wasn't a very good man, and then she'll wake up in the morning outside, or she had these visions of her being down in a tunnel, underground tunnel, and she was getting experimented on. So she was a very fascinating. She passed away 2017, same year my father passed away. And I wish she was still around, but I do miss her. She was definitely one of my closest friends. But she was a very fascinating lady.
Yeah.
And yeah, she warned me of all these things. Like even before she passed away, she was like, I don't got much time here, but I do want you to know that you have a very important part in the world right now.
Oh, nice.
And it's going to be an event that happens, and it's going to scare a lot of people, and it's going to scare you. But you have to operate on love. And again, like I told you earlier, her telling I'm listening to Master, that's too much weight. I like, people don't listen to me. I don't think I'll be able to do anything, but okay. I will do my best,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Brent. Give me a second.
It's okay. I mean, yeah, this is a lot, and amazingly, you sound like you've done incredibly well being confronted with all of this weight.
Mm-hmm.
So, don't be afraid to express your emotions honestly, because you've earned that right,
And I think what's so crazy about it is that there was this movie. You ever seen this movie called Knowing before?
With Nicolas Cage?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
From the thing that she was describing to me, when I first seen that movie, I think that's exactly how it was supposed to play out. This event that she's speaking of.
Mm.
And again, I don't want to get into the religious or spiritual aspects of it.
Sure.
But I do think if you look at the Bible from an extraterrestrial perspective, it tends to make a lot more sense.
Mm. Okay.
And I think what they consider the rapture is what was supposed to happen, what Cece called as the event. Because she told me that when the event happens, these ships are supposed to land and take up the star seeds. That's what she would call them.
Okay.
But it's our choice whether or not we want to go. If you want to stay here and assist humanity more, or if you just want to leave. But that movie, when I tried to align everything, because also, so when I was a kid, I was very fascinated by things I shouldn't be fascinated by. Mm-hmm. And religion was one of them. I've been through many different faiths. I was born in a Christian household. I've been Buddhist. I've been a mystic. I've been Muslim at some point. I've been through a lot of different faiths. Mm-hmm. But when I did realize they all kind of say the same thing, and if you look at them from an extraterrestrial perspective, they tend to make sense. I think all of them came from ancient Sumeria.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And they could very well be. That's true. I mean, I've always thought of, and I don't know if this makes sense to anybody other than me, but I always thought of like this presence of the divine is like a garden in the sky, and then there's all these ladders that go up to the clouds, and each ladder has its own rules and own observations, and then they stop at the clouds, and everybody on their ladder is sure they're on the right path, and they're, mocking everyone on the other ladders. But then once you get through the clouds, you find all the ladders end up there in the same place.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I always heard too that the angels think that the things that we stressed out about is kind of funny. Like money, rent, that's what you're stressed out about. Like, how about you reincarnate down here and deal with bills, okay?
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, it would be easy to sit in this perfect state and look down at us struggling and going, "Oh, you guys are clowns." But it gets heavy down here. It gets heavy. So that's amazing.
UFOs too around that time, Brent. I got the statue as well. Mm-hmm. We go to the state fair at one point. I seen this disc in the sky, and it was very silver, very noticeable. I was surprised no one else saw it. Mm-hmm. It was kind of high up. I mean, I always did a lot of sky gazing and stargazing. I know people don't really look up anymore, but I looked at the right moment, and we were stuck in traffic on the way to the state fair, Georgia State Fair, and there was a silver disc there, and it was too silver. Like, it didn't look like anything that was being made, and it was just staying there. So in that one spot, and it's hovered there.
Oh, wow.
And then I actually had a video of the second one I saw. I was with my sister, and he's walking around the neighborhood. And there was this one came in to describe. You ever seen like a dragon fruit before?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It kind of looked like a dragon fruit. Like the shape was. It had all these spikes around it, and it was black, and it was hovering there. And I recorded it. I'm not sure if I can even find the recording anymore, but this all happened in that apartment in Georgia. And so I seen a bunch of UFOs around that time. And I would come home sometimes, and there would be my dog would be terrified. And she, usually dogs, they always greet you at your front door. At least my dog did, and her behavior completely just warped.
Oh,
And she would be terrified, and she'd be under the bed, and she would not come from under that bed when I come home. 'Cause usually I was the first one home from school. So that wasn't normal. And then May, she told me that one night we was all asleep except for me. I was the only one that's awoke at the time. Someone went through the front door,
oh,
and I assume it was a shadow government or the Men in Black, whoever these people are.
mm-hmm.
And and I was the only one awake. Now I didn't go out the door, and to get out the front door, you gotta go past you had to go past her bedroom.
Okay.
And one day as well, someone threw a shoe at her. She was coming home, and her room was pitch black, and someone threw a shoe at her, and no one's in her room.
Oof.
So yeah, there's like a cluster of stuff happening when I got this statue, and I don't think that it brought. I feel like the portal that opened up is probably my fault. I should have been more clear on my tent. Like, okay, only positive things that come through this portal, which is Gabriel. Anything else coming through this portal?
Well, I mean, it sounds your journey has been this incredible series of awakenings, if you will, and there's no question that people that come into their sensitivities or their clairs or whatever, they tend to be beacons for activity. It's like, and I don't know if it's the energy that they're emitting is just suddenly so much brighter that everything seems to zero in on them, and from the spiritual sense. Both high vibrational things and low vibrational things, but they end up targeting these people. And I don't think it's nefarious necessarily. I think maybe they have a story to tell. Maybe they just want to make a connection and share something. And so they try to get people's attention. And it comes across, very aggressive oftentimes, but I don't think it's generally intended to be, but, that's me speculating a lot. But certainly through your journey, you've opened up more and more and more. And I guess it doesn't surprise me that the activity would find you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think spirits definitely know as well who would be more receptive to it.
Sure.
Because
yes.
My grandmother, she is like a hot spot for paranormal. Oh my God. Like they always come to her about everything. And I'm just like, yeah, it's because, they know that you will listen, and it's kind of why, I kind of want to do paranormal investigation myself, because I want to be able to utilize my gifts I just want to utilize them to help other people.
Right. Yeah. I think that's wonderful. And I would encourage you to do that. I think probably getting involved with an existing team in your area is the best place to start, because it's good to start with a team that already has been working together, and you can learn from them, and then eventually maybe branch off into your own thing. But at least you'll hopefully learn some good skills and teamwork and all of that goes into, good investigating. I mean, there's a lot of people investigating out there, but there's not necessarily a lot of people that are doing it well. I think there's many teams that are, but there's also a lot of other people that watch some ghost adventures on TV, and they make, they buy the devices, and then they just go and, see what they can find. And neither is wrong necessarily, but I think that, to properly investigate, you have to kind of try to look at things from their perspective. They may be these, and it's an assumption, but we assume that some of the ghostly activity is formerly living people. And they're still here for some reason. They didn't transition for some reason. So we often refer to the unfinished business and maybe trauma or any number of things that they're trying to work through before they make the next step. But if somebody came into your home right now and told you to turn your light on, turn it off, turn the channel on the TV, go make them a sandwich and stuff, you'd be like, who the hell are you? What are you doing in my home? So I think there's teams that do it exceptionally well with a lot of respect and care. And then there's a lot of people that come in like, steamrollers. And, does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't seem to be many of them in Georgia either. We definitely see more down here.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot in Kentucky, I'm assuming, because it's just such a paranormal hotspot there.
Sure,
Kentucky is crazy for activity. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But even here in Georgia, there are some spots here. I'm like, okay, someone needs to come investigate this or see what's going on here. Because when I was having these experiences with Gabriel, it was in Kennesaw. And Kennesaw, Georgia, it used to be a battleground.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, they stuck the cannon there and everything. And I heard stories of people still hearing the cannons go off at night.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yep.
yeah, it's yeah, very yeah. I didn't. I'll hear explosions under my apartment. It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Those old battlefields are supercharged with a lot of energy from, of course, they saw some of the most horrible things that are possible from the human condition. And yeah, it doesn't surprise me that there's a lot of hauntings there. I'm surprised around Savannah that there isn't. I don't know where you're at versus Savannah, but from what I understand, Savannah's a pretty big hotspot too.
Yeah, I would love to visit. It's gorgeous too.
Oh,
I
okay.
heard there's yeah, I heard a lot of paranormal activity down there as well, but it's kind of like 4 hours away. I'll it'll be like my first spot I visit to do the investigations for sure.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be really fun. But yeah, I think it's amazing, and certainly you've seen so much incredible stuff, and yet you seem very well adjusted too. So my hat's off to you for that, because it sounds like your life has stood on its head many times, and yet you're still a very wonderful soul, and you're very wonderful to talk to. So it would be easy to have all these things happen and just get dark, but you're certainly not that way. So that's very, very wonderful to hear.
Thank you. As long as it's not a Bigfoot or a dog man, I'm good.
Oh, it's coming. It's got no, just kidding.
I was like, one time I heard tree knocking. One time, with my yeah, I did hear tree knocking one time actually at my apartment. Not sure if it's a Bigfoot or not, but I know it is a common thing they do.
Yes.
And brother, when he was staying with me at the time, and he's on my patio late at night. And he got terrified, and he just ran in the house. And I was just like, "What's wrong?" He was like, "There's something outside." Yada yada yada. And he didn't see anything, but he knew there was something in the trees. And Kennesaw is very heavily wooded.
Oh, sure.
Tree knocking. So I don't know what that was.
It's surprising how most of us, when we think of Bigfoot and these other cryptids, we think, oh, they're way out in the deep woods, and I'm sure they certainly are. But it's surprising the amount of reports that come from urban areas. Right up to suburbs of some major cities will even have Bigfoot sightings and things. So I think that they're opportunists. They go to where where it's easier to live, and certainly living on the fringes of our society. As wasteful as we are, they could probably make a hell of a life.
Yeah, they probably like pizza.
Yep, and drive-throughs every once in a while. No, I'm just kidding. Well, Keishon, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your experiences and putting it out there for our listeners.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, everybody, that's going to wrap it up for us today. So hope you guys enjoyed the show, and thank you again so much for all your love and support. And remember, if you want to follow the Paranormal Portal, probably the easiest way is to head over to paranormalportal.net. And that's the homepage for the Paranormal Portal. And you'll find links to all of our different social media and sites and information about the shows, including our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/paranormalportal. Or just look for Paranormal Portal on Google or whatever search engine, and you'll find links to our social media, such as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. So we're kind of all over the place, and we're spreading as well as we can. But anyway, thank you so much for the love and support. Y'all take care, and remember, we love y'all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other, help each other out, find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. Until next time.